Am I the bad guy for asking my girlfriend to not wear Indian clothes to work? I, 27 male, am American, and my girlfriend, 28 female, is British and ethnically half Indian. She is not religious, and culturally very British and speaks with a British accent. We live in the US, and recently started living together. She works at a tech company. I noticed about half the days when she goes to work, she dresses in Indian clothes, even her heels are shiny gold or silver. The look is stuff like this. She looks really cute, and I think it is fine for a party or festival, but it looks really out of place for the American workplace. I have Indian friends in American and the women dress Western here, except for festivals. I told her to tone it down a bit, as it looks out of place in America, and she might face discrimination. And some of the heels look too unprofessional for the workplace. I work at a bank, and everyone is dressed really formal. She got upset and told me she will wear whatever she pleases and is acting cold towards me. I did not push it, as ultimately it is her choice, and she can face the consequences. Was I the bad guy here? She does not even like India and criticizes the place all the time and the politics there, and she identifies as British. You're the bad guy very much. You're worried about discrimination, but it sounds like you're the only one with a problem with it. Indian clothes are not inappropriate in the workplace. There are formal clothes from India that are perfectly appropriate, like those in the photo you shared. Also, just because she criticizes India's politics does not mean she doesn't identify with Indian culture. She identifies as a British nationality. She apparently does identify as, and is connected to Indian heritage. Those are two different things that are capable of being mutually exclusive. I'm Indian, live in India and still hate Indian politics. It's possible to identify with and find meaning from a heritage and hate significant adjacent factors. I seriously don't understand how OP doesn't get this. How many of us Americans also effing hate our local and national governments? And criticize it all the time? But we still identify as American? You're the bad guy. There's nothing unprofessional about this outfit. You keep leaning into how your girlfriend is British, but make no mistake, she's also Indian. Also, if no one has complained at work about what she wears, then you're creating discord where there isn't any. Perhaps you're the one who's bothered. Yup. OP is not comfortable with how his girlfriend dresses. And has Uno reversed it into him wanting to protect her from the discrimination and harassment she is sure to face. She works in a tech company. Presumably she earned the education to get herself there. She has navigated cultural norms in at least 2 different counties. By OP's own admission, she is capable of dressing in both Western and Indian fashions. She sounds super capable. And yet somehow, OP has seriously convinced himself that this full-grown woman needs his help, seeing how people might treat her differently because of her attire. OP, did you really just mansplain racism to your brown girlfriend? Edit, seems like most people think I am the bad guy. I guess I owe her an apology and need to learn a bit more on the issue. I did not have bad intentions, I just want people to think well of her, and I have seen her get mocked and catcalled outside. Am I the bad guy for suing my parents for my college money? My great-aunt set up savings accounts for all of her female relatives. In our culture, education for women is not really valued, and she thought that was BS. She lived with her father in London, where she was educated. She went on to attend university and became a doctor. She married a British man and they moved to America and had a great life. She funded the education of as many of her nieces and grandnieces as she could. When she passed away, she left money for every girl relative she could. My parents managed to access the accounts that were set up for my sister and me. They used it to pay for my brother's wedding. My sister didn't care because she got married 2 years out of high school and had no intention of going to college. When I graduated, I went to the bank to get money for school, and it was almost all gone. There was only $13,000 left. I asked my parents about it, and they said they had needed the money. I finally found out where the money went. I got furious. I got student loans and moved out. I am a great source of shame to them, and I don't give 2 pucks. I am currently suing them for the money that was left for me. My entire family is against me. They all think I am a complete bad guy for airing private family business in public. And that I am putting money ahead of family. My friends are all on my side, but they are all Americans and don't really get my culture. Neither do I, to be honest. My brother called me up and offered to pay for my university if I dropped the lawsuit. I agreed, as long as we had a legally binding contract. He said I was being a meanie for not trusting him. I said he should not have accepted my money for his wedding. It is causing all kinds of embarrassment in our community. I am somewhat ashamed to be doing this, but I don't want to have this debt I shouldn't have. Not the bad guy. Your parents didn't borrow your money. They stole it. I hope you have all the documents to show that money was yours. Your brother is also the bad guy for trying to get you to drop a lawsuit, with what is most likely a lie. If you have a chance to start life without student debt, you do whatever you can to do that. Your parents, and I'm sorry, but their culture sound completely toxic. I'm glad you got out. The student law center at my university is helping me with everything. I have proof that the money was mine. I am trying to do everything I can, so this does not become a criminal matter. I'm sorry, but this is a criminal matter. If this was for an American university, you're talking $200,000 to $300,000. Theft of that much is jail time. Not the bad guy. Also, your alternative to your brother was excellent. I have no idea why your brother got angry. Explicit explanation, because he is from the same family and was absolutely going to screw you over just like your parents did. I approve of absolutely every step you have done, especially dealing with your brother. He probably got angry because he doesn't want to be held legally responsible if he doesn't pay it all back. He knew it was her money when it was given to him in the first place. He's just as guilty as their parents. Not the bad guy. Your parents stole from you. I find it difficult to believe that's culturally acceptable. If they had asked you to agree to the money being used, it would be different, although still not great, given the power imbalance. And I would have thought that, intentionally disrespecting the dead, would be a no-no in most cultures. You aren't airing family business in public, you are dealing with a theft. Your parents are the ones who chose to lie and steal. They have only themselves to blame that their actions have caught up with them. And yes, relying on a formal, binding, legal contract in place to withdraw your legal claim is essential. You are not being a bad guy. If your brother is honest and trustworthy, then there is no reason for him to object. If he isn't, there is every reason to get it formally drawn up. Am I the bad guy for not sharing my inheritance? I, 25 female, recently lost my mother to cancer. My brother, 35 male, and I are her only children. For the past 7 years, I've been staying in an apartment my mother bought. She always told me that, when she died, she wanted me to have it because she worked so hard to ensure I always had somewhere to live. So, when she died, she left me the apartment in the will. My brother has no issue with this. He makes more than enough of his own money and actually owns an apartment in the same building. However, my aunts, A and B, have an issue with this. A has had money issues for as long as I've known her, and my mother was always helping her out with money when she was alive. B is financially stable, but in no position to help A. They both think that, since I make enough money to be able to rent a place, I should let A stay in the apartment and rent my own, because that's what my mother would have wanted. I said no, stating that my mother wanted me to have a place of my own. I am currently saving all the money I would have used on rent, and intend to buy my own house when I have enough saved. When I said no, they then suggested that I should share some of the money my mother left me with them. She had 2 life insurance policies, both of which went only to me and my brother. She also left us the house and her car. Basically, everything was split between my brother and I, and no one else got anything. My aunts feel that this was wrong and that they, especially A, deserve some of the money. My brother blocked them all on platforms when they asked this of him, and he suggests I do the same, but I feel guilty about cutting off my family. But I also feel strongly that, if my mother wanted them to get money, she would have left them something. But she didn't. She chose to leave everything to my brother and me. My aunts are saying that my mother did that because she assumed we would share. But I knew my mother. She would have told me if she wanted me to do that. All she said was that, she wanted to die knowing that my brother and I would be able to support ourselves. So, am I the bad guy for not giving money to A, or allowing A to stay in my apartment? There is absolutely no way you're the bad guy in this situation. Sorry for your loss, but I'm afraid the only way forward is to cut your toxic aunties out of the picture, as your brother did. Not the bad guy. This. Trust your gut. Or her brother's gut. Your aunt is greedy and possessive and you should copy your brother. Don't feel guilty, and don't give up. Not the bad guy. Your aunt wants you to rent a place? And give her your apartment? The one you've been living in for years? The same one your mother wanted you to keep? The audacity. I wish you good luck with such relatives. I'm really sorry for your loss. It's quite something when you spell it out that way, isn't it? If I were OP's mother, this aunt would be waking in terror at flashing lights, doors slamming open and shut in unison, and ducking flying crockery and cutlery anytime she walked into her haunted kitchen. OP, if you're reading this, you're still just a baby and deserved many more years with your loving mother. I'm so sorry. In the absence of a better world, her giving you the apartment and life insurance was the best she could do, and she'd be absolutely devastated for that to be taken away by her dirty rotten snake of a sister. Follow your brother's lead in blocking your avaricious aunts, and take comfort in his company. May your mother's memory be a blessing. Not the bad guy. A is being a very entitled vulture, and your brother is wise in blocking her. It's one thing to say, hey, I'm not doing very well financially, any chance I could bunk in at your house now that there's room? But instead, hey, you need to move out of your family home and go rent somewhere else, because you have money. The fact that she's the latter is a big red flag. Stay away. Thanks for visiting our channel. Before you leave, don't forget to like, subscribe and share your advice or a comment down below. Let us know what you think about some of the stories. See you again soon. Bye.